Hey everyone, hope you're doing well. I am continuing on my journal, and in this video I am showing you how I just decorated first this envelope, and then there was another little piece of paper that I tore in half and decorated on it. I thought I knew what I was going to do with this envelope, but then after I glue that flap inside, you can see I'm like thinking is like, okay, now what was I gonna do again? Normally I don't glue the inside, the flap inside. And also I'll normally dip it in distress inks to give it some color. But then I saw Artie Mays do a video where she just did a little stamping and put a little piece of a napkin on it, and it just made it look simple and elegant. And so that's what I was going to try to achieve on this envelope. And I think with the four sides I kind of did each side a little bit different, and hopefully it works. So here I'm just doing some stamping. I believe that's a coffee color archival ink. And I have these little stamps that I got from a digital kit. And then I'm gonna stamp to the cancel part onto the stamp to make it look legit. Although I don't show it in the video, I do add a little something to this side of the envelope. You'll see it in the pictures at the end. I think I just glued a little piece of ephemera, and I folded up a little piece of paper and tucked it in there so it looks like a little note. So you can write on that little note. But it needed something because there was something in the middle that was just plain and missing. So I apologize for not doing that on camera, but it is in the last picture. And I'm just going around and edging the way I like and gluing parts that, come unglued once you coffee dye them. I like that stamp there. It's got so many different fonts on it that, you can just use different parts of it to get nice, stamps. I'm not sure what word I was looking for there. Because normally that one stamp that I use is all the same, it's a pretty script stamp. This stamp, you can use different parts of it, and it looks like you use several different stamps. I guess that's what I was trying to say. And I found that stamp on AliExpress. So here I'm just trying to find something small to put on the envelope. And I do like to take my time and pull off those two white pieces of napkin because I reuse those either as napkins or as layered onto a different substrate. You can get that crinkle effect, and you can use it to get the leather effect also. So that's why I don't use the tape method to rip them off. It just takes a little, little patience and your little fingernail, and you can get them apart. So I really like this effect. Like I said, I call it elegant. I'm not sure what to call it, but instead of using all the inks and giving that watercolor effect and lots of color, I wanted just something simple this time. So I'm glad I love her channel, Artie Mays, that is. I love watching all her different ideas. And she also has a mixed media background. So she incorporates a lot of her mixed media techniques into her art journaling, or junk journaling, excuse me. And since I have all the supplies from my art journaling days, I like to be able to incorporate them. So she gives us lots of great ideas. And I guess I'm kind of stalling. I'm thinking of what to do with that last side of the envelope. And I finally decide on just doing a simple collage on it. Oops, I forgot. This page needed something, or this side needed something, so I just decorated it with this little piece of lace. It actually would have worked either way. You know, some people don't like laces in their journals. So it was simple enough, it would have worked. But I'm a lay it on there kind of gal, I guess. Oh, that's why my journals tend to weigh a couple of pounds and get so thick. But I was trying to, go easy on this journal and not make it such a gator mouth. I wanted to keep it to just one signature, so I didn't want to overload it with tons of embellishments. So this is where I go for the simple collage with my cheesecloth that I dyed with the Distress Oxides. Then I'm going to use a butterfly from the Tim Holtz collection. And while I was putting away the butterflies, I found this piece in my scrap box. It's a piece from a different digital, but it had, the canceled stamp there. So I thought, well, that will look neat, because this is an envelope. So I try to tear that out and use it. That's why it helps me so much to have everything close by and in line of sight. So you see what you have, and you can just, at the last minute, pick something that'll work. This is my box of little ephemera. A lot of those pieces are from a kit from Artie Mays. It's one of her ephemera kits, I believe. And they come in handy when you're trying to find little pieces to add to, a collage. So I'm just using my Fabri-Tac, or is it Fabric 3-in-1? Fabri-Tac. I can't remember now. I have to look at the bottle again. But it works great when you're trying to glue down bulky stuff, like the cheesecloth. Now that white piece on that bottom right there, it bugs me later, and I'm trying to think of something to cover it. I'm trying not to cover the canceled part of that design there, where the stamp is supposed to be. So I fiddle with that a little bit, but I finally come up with an answer or a solution. See, that would have been too many blue pieces, and I decided against it. Then I try for a tan piece, and I'm like, oh, that still looks forced. So it's just like, okay, don't force it, just glue the butterfly down. And then I thought, well, let me go ahead and add a stamp over it, just to, I don't know why that white was bugging me. So I fix it, it's all better, and I'm happy. So that was that. And like I said, I do cover up that centerpiece there because it did look plain to me. So that was the end of that. Now this little faux textured handmade piece of paper I did do a video on about a month ago or so, so I do have that. The only thing I added to it, I did add a couple of either flower or a butterfly stamp to it. And this little tag here is part of the kit, the Hummingbird dinner kit by Louise Hensel. And instead of using it as a tag, I decided to use it as a pocket. So I cover out where that hole punch is supposed to be with some lace. I had already glued down, on the left side there, I glued down a piece of my crocheted doily. And then I decided, well, go ahead and turn on the camera so that I can remember how I collaged this side of it. I was glad I was finally able to use, my brown pieces. They always seem so dark for the other journals that I made, but I knew they would work in, a nature journal or a antique vintage themed journal. So here I'm looking through my little stash of cut out words, but I guess all the good words were already used, and I didn't want to force something that didn't work. So I decided against using a word and just glue down the doily. I didn't want to cover up too much of the original digital piece, so that's why I just add a little bit. I'm going to use this coffee stained piece of lace. It used to be white, and I add a butterfly to it. So it's just a real simple collage, but it really, it has layers and it makes the piece look pretty. And that was it. I put these two pieces together in the same video because they didn't really take long to make. And here I changed my mind at the last minute because it was like 2 leaves, and I was like, well, let me break this up and add a leaf, from the digital, and the butterfly matched the butterfly. So I just changed my mind at the last minute. I'm going to punch a hole and add an eyelet using my crocodile. And then I use this, dug in the bottom of my basket and found this brown eyelash trim yarn. So it was able to match. And boom. So this was it. I've got a lot of different colors in this journal, but they all seem to go together, I didn't want it all brown, with the digitals. I wanted to add a touch of color. So it is a mismatch. I guess you call it eclectic. And so here are the pictures. I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for all the lovely comments. And I hope you have fun crafting. Bye-bye.